Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of Season 4, Episode 16 of Lucha on the Ground called Kill Mill. And the episode title has to deal with Muertes, which is, a situation that happens later on in the episode, which I'll get to explaining. And I gotta say, this was a solid episode of Lucha on the Ground tonight. We had 4 matches. One of them was, just a short match, which I'll get to. But overall, it was a solid episode, and we got build up to Ultima Lucha Cuatro. So, but let's get started with the review. So, the episode opens up with Jack Evans in the ring. He ends up getting on the mic. And he ends up saying, he complains and says he refuses to be part of a promotion that lets, Lishus compete because, he has a problem with Lishus, aka Sonny Kiss. And he also complains, that, Matanza ended up crashing Johnny Mundo's wedding, which, Jack Evans wasn't there. And he goes on to say, that, after he did all his complaining, he says he quits. And so Antonio Cueto ends up coming out. He was out there, and he ends up telling Jack Evans that, he's gonna have a match tonight. And he ends up telling him if he wins the match, he can walk out the door and quit. But if he loses the match, Jack Evans will never walk out of the temple again. And so Antonio says, he has been chosen, that Jack Evans has been chosen to be the next sacrifice to the gods. And so that's when, Jack Evans, got scared. He tried to run out. He ended up running up the stairs to the entranceway. Tried to slide the doors. The doors wouldn't slide. And so then we see the doors open, and Matanza is right behind him. And so that's when Jack Evans, freaked out, headed back down the stairs. We saw Antonio trip Evans with his cane. And, it's just Matanza, taking the upper hand. And eventually, the match began, and Matanza was in control. Jack Evans ended up making a comeback. He ended up exposing one of the turnbuckles. And he ended up hitting a awesome 630 senton on Matanza. And, looked like, because, Matanza ended up hitting, the turnbuckles, and then that's, Jack Evans could have pinned Matanza right there, but no, he ended up going for the 630 senton on Matanza, and that's when Matanza ended up picking up Evans, because Evans went for the pin count, and then Matanza just stood up and picked up Evans. And he ended up pinning him. Matanza ended up pinning him. Then, of course, Jack Evans was sacrificed to the gods. So, all in all, it was a short match. So, Jack Evans sacrificed to the gods. So, and then Lucha on the Ground. When it came back from the commercial, we had the Trios Championship match. The Trios Championships were on the line. It was the Reptile Tribe, Daga, Jeremiah Snake, Cobra Moon versus Ivelisse, Lishus, and Joey Ryan. And this was a very enjoyable match. This was a good match. I liked the Trios pairing between Ivelisse, Lishus, and Joey Ryan. They were very fun. They were a very fun trios team, and it just went back and forth between them. We end up seeing before the match even got underway, Paul London emerged from the entranceway, and he ends up introducing El Bunny and also the White Rabbit, because if you remember last week in a scene, Paul London, White Rabbit, wanted Paul London to take him to see the temple along with El Bunny, and so they transported away, and so here they were a week later. So, and they were just watching the match from the entranceway. Joey Ryan ended up starting off the match, and Exolicious ended up getting tagged in. He was working on the Reptile tribe. Exolicious, of course, very impressive. And at the end of the match, you had Daga end up making a comeback. He was able to make Joey Ryan tap out. And so the Reptile tribe still retained the Trios Championships. So, but although it was a fun match, it was an enjoyable match. Then you had, after the match, Paul London, El Bunny, and the White Rabbit then made their way down to the ring. El Bunny and Paul London then attacked Joey Ryan and Exolicious. Ivelisse then, came in to try to make the save, try to save Joey and Exo, but she ended up getting cut off by Paul London, and all three of them, Exo, Ivelisse, and Joey Ryan, they were all laid out. Paul London and El Bunny ended up holding all three of their heads over the bottom rope, and the White Rabbit was right in front of them, and the White Rabbit was saying to the three of them, "Tick tock, tick tock." So maybe Paul London, El Bunny, and the White Rabbit, maybe a future match for the Trios Championships, maybe. So maybe we'll see that later on in the season, but who knows? So that's what happened after the match. But like I said, it was an enjoyable match, very fun match. Like I said, I like the trios pairing between Exolicious, Joey Ryan, and Ivelisse. They were very fun, and I hope they become, I hope they're still a trios team, still heading into the season. So and then the next match we had was Aerostar and Drago versus Jake Strong. This was a 2 versus 1 Nunchucks match, where Nunchucks were involved, and the way you could win is by pinfall or submission. And Jake Strong ended up having the early advantage in the match, and unfortunately Aerostar and Drago made a comeback in the match. Drago ended up hitting Jake Strong, aka Jack Swagger, with Nunchucks, which Drago was on Aerostar's shoulder, and Jake Strong ended up taking control shortly after. And what was really cool was I think it was Drago. He ended up spitting the green mist in Jake Strong's eyes, and it led to him taking the advantage of hitting him with the Nunchucks, which I thought was cool. And then we had Aerostar and Jake Strong, Swagger, they made their way onto the catwalk. They ended up climbing up the ladder, and they ended up brawling on the catwalk. And then we saw Jake Strong end up causing Aerostar to fall to the floor, which was crazy. And there was no camera pointing there where Aerostar ended up falling. And so then Drago then came and he attacked Jake Strong with nunchucks. And it was just that before Jake Strong ended up cutting off Drago. And what was really cool was Aerostar came out of nowhere, and then he did a dive off the catwalk, which was awesome, and the crowd really liked that. And then Aerostar and Drago went back in the ring. They were still beating Jake Strong with the nunchucks, and the match went back and forth. Then at the end of the match, Jake Strong won the match. He ended up locking in the ankle lock on Aerostar. Aerostar ended up tapping out, and so Jake Strong ends up winning the match. And at the end of the match, Drago ended up coming in. He hit Jake Strong with nunchucks again, and then Strong ended up putting Drago in the ankle lock. And Jake Strong actually broke Drago's ankle. You heard the crack. So that was crazy. That was crazy to see. So, yeah, all in all, I thought it was a enjoyable match. It was a good match, crazy back and forth match. So, and then we had the main event, which was a four-way match. This was for the number one contender for the Lucha Underground Championship. Who will get to face Mario the Morph Martinez for the Lucha Underground Championship. It was Pentagon Dark versus King Cuerno versus Mil Muertes versus El Dragon Azteca Jr. And this was a good main event. This was an enjoyable main event. We had Mil Muertes starting off the match. He then ended up taking control until King Cuerno ended up cutting him off. You had Phoenix show up, and he ended up showing up. He ended up grabbing Melissa Santos. Melissa, tried to talk to Phoenix. Then she ran away, and El Dragon Azteca Jr. ended up taking down Phoenix, and the two ended up brawling outside, and they went to the back. So right from there, El Dragon Azteca Jr. Was not winning this match. So then now it was only Pentagon, King Cuerno, and Mil Muertes. So, the three of them, they, went at it with each other. And surprise, the Mac ended up coming out. And we haven't seen the Mac for, half a month. So the Mac ended up coming out. He ended up, he has problems with Mil Muertes. And the Mac ended up hitting 2 stunners to Mil Muertes. And this set it up Pentagon to hit his finisher, which is the Mexican Destroyer, on Mil Muertes for the win. And so Pentagon is the number one contender to face Mario the Morph Martinez for the Lucha Underground Championship. And it's cool. I know Pentagon was going to get another shot. So, but yeah. And then next week, Mario the Morph Martinez is going to be there, and he's going to confront Pentagon. So, yeah, so pretty much knew Pentagon was going to win it and get, his rematch for the Lucha Underground Championship. So, but all in all, it was a enjoyable match. It was a good main event. And then after the match, the Mac ended up getting in the ring, and he got on the mic, and he says to Mil Muertes, he ends up saying to him, you know, that he's not going to fight for the Lucha Underground Championship. That Mil Muertes isn't going to fight for the Lucha Underground Championship. He ends up saying to Mil that Mil is going to fight him, and Mac ends up saying he was scared of Mil, but he ain't scared no more. And he goes on to announce that at Ultima Lucha Cuatro, he's challenging Mil Muertes to a death match. So that's going to be interesting to see. And so the episode ended with Mac saying, "Rest in peace, motherfucker." So, and that's how the episode ended, and that's why the name of the episode is called Kill Mil, because of the Mac, you know, issuing the challenge to Mil Muertes, you know, for a death match at Ultima Lucha Cuatro, which that's going to be an awesome match to see. And it's possibly going to end this whole feud between the Mac and Mil Muertes. So I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, I liked how this episode built to, you know, build into Ultima Lucha Cuatro. So yeah, so that's it for my review of tonight's edition. Tonight's edition of Lucha Underground, which was Season 4, Episode 16 of Kill Mil. It's called Kill Mil. Thank you all for watching, and definitely give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all enjoyed this review. And until the next video, I'll see you all later.